If you enjoy my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps my channel grow and I will make more good videos for you. The city buzzed with life that evening. Lights flickered on tall buildings, casting long shadows over crowded streets. Music spilled out from open windows, and the hum of conversations mixed with laughter filled the air. It was the kind of night that held promise, excitement, mystery, something new waiting just around the corner. Alex had never been to a party like this before. He wasn't the type to seek out big city events, but a friend had invited him, saying it was an opportunity he shouldn't miss. So, here he was, standing near the entrance of a large art gallery, watching people swirl past him like waves in a restless ocean. Everyone seemed to know each other. Everyone but him. He sipped his drink quietly, trying to feel a part of it all, when suddenly his eyes caught her. She stood alone near a sculpture, her presence somehow different from the rest. She was breathtaking, tall, with dark hair that curled softly around her face and eyes that shone like polished stones. Her dress was simple but elegant, flowing as if it moved with a breeze only she could feel. She smiled faintly at something unseen, mysterious, and distant. Alex's heart skipped a beat. He didn't know what pulled him to her, but he found himself walking over without thinking. When she noticed him, her eyes met his with a flash of surprise and something else, curiosity. "Hi," Alex said, suddenly shy. "Hello," she replied, her voice smooth and soft, like a song. They began to talk. It was as if time slowed down just for them. The noise around them faded into a dull roar. She told him her name was Eva, but not much else. When he asked where she was from or what she did, she smiled but didn't answer. Instead, she asked him questions about himself, listening closely, her gaze never wavering. Alex felt something he had never felt before, a connection that went deeper than words. The world seemed sharper, brighter. When she laughed at one of his jokes, it echoed in his chest like music. He wanted to know everything about her, but she was like a beautiful puzzle he could not solve. As the night wore on, the crowd around them shifted and swirled, but they stayed in their own little bubble. When the clock struck 10, Eva suddenly glanced at her watch and said, "I have to go." "Wait," Alex said quickly, not wanting the moment to end. "Can I see you again?" She shook her head gently. "I'm sorry. I can't. Not right now." Before he could say more, she leaned in and kissed him. It was soft at first, then urgent. His heart pounded wildly, and for a moment nothing else existed except her lips against his. When she pulled away, her eyes were serious. "Remember me," she whispered, then turned and melted into the crowd. Alex stood frozen, watching her disappear. He felt a strange mix of joy and sadness, as if a beautiful dream had just ended. He tried to find her again among the sea of faces but failed. When he asked the people nearby if they had seen the woman named Eva, they looked at him strangely. "Who?" one man asked. "There's no Eva here." A woman shook her head. "I don't know anyone by that name." Alex's heart sank. He described her as best he could, but no one seemed to remember her. The gallery staff checked their guest list, and there was no Eva Monroe or any similar name. Confused, Alex left the party alone, clutching the necklace she had dropped during their conversation, a small silver pendant shaped like a star. It was the only proof she had ever been there. Walking through the quiet streets, he replayed the night over and over. How could a woman so real, so alive, vanish without a trace? Had he imagined her? Was it all a trick of the mind? But the necklace in his hand told a different story. That night, Alex lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering who Eva really was and why she had come into his life just to disappear after one kiss. The mystery haunted him, and he knew his life was about to change forever. Alex woke up the next morning feeling restless. The small silver star necklace lay on his bedside table, catching the soft light from the window. It was the only thing he had left of Eva, the mysterious woman who vanished after their first kiss. His mind raced with questions and confusion, but he was certain about one thing. He had to find her. He dressed quickly and left his apartment, the necklace wrapped carefully in his palm. The city was already busy, people rushing to their jobs, cars honking in the streets, and vendors shouting over the noise. Alex moved with purpose, retracing the small details Eva had shared during their brief conversation. She had mentioned a few places, a small cafe called the Blue Lantern, a park with old oak trees, and a bookstore that specialized in rare books. His first stop was the cafe. The Blue Lantern was tucked between two tall buildings, its faded blue sign swinging gently in the morning breeze. The bell above the door jingled as Alex stepped inside. The smell of fresh coffee and baked bread filled the air. A few customers sat quietly at tables, reading or talking softly. Alex approached the counter and smiled at the woman behind it. "Hi, I'm looking for someone. Her name is Eva. Have you seen her?" The woman blinked and shook her head slowly. "Eva? No, I don't think so. We get a lot of people here, but no one by that name, sorry." Alex frowned but nodded politely. "Did she mention this cafe to you? Or anyone like her?" "No," the woman replied. "Sorry, I can't help." Feeling discouraged, Alex left and headed toward the park Eva had described. The sun was warmer now, and the city noise softened under the shade of tall trees. He walked along the winding paths, searching for any sign of her. Some children played nearby, and an old man fed pigeons on a bench, but no one recognized the name Eva. His phone buzzed. It was a message from his friend Mia. Asterisk, "Hey, you still at that party? We thought you were joking about Eva." Asterisk, Alex sighed and typed back, asterisk, "She's real. I just have to find her." Asterisk. Mia called him soon after. "Alex, you're scaring me. You can't keep chasing someone who doesn't exist. Maybe she was just a dream or a trick of your mind." Alex listened but couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. He wasn't imagining things. Eva was real and she needed help. As he left the park, Alex noticed something shiny on the ground near a trash can. He bent down and picked up a small folded piece of paper. His heart skipped as he opened it carefully. The note was written in neat, hurried handwriting. Asterisk, "If you want to find me, look where the shadows meet the light. Trust no one." Asterisk. The message was cryptic but urgent. Alex's pulse quickened. Someone was warning him, or maybe it was Eva herself. He slipped the note into his pocket and scanned the street. Later that evening, he returned to the bookstore Eva had mentioned. It was a narrow shop with dusty shelves and old wooden floors. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with glasses perched on his nose, looked up when Alex entered. "I'm looking for someone," Alex said gently. "Her name is Eva. She mentioned this place." The man rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "Eva, you say? I don't recall anyone by that name. But there are many who come and go quietly." Alex asked about any strange visitors or if anyone seemed to avoid attention. The shopkeeper hesitated but finally said, "There are people who live in the city's shadows. Not everyone is easy to find. Be careful who you trust." The warning made Alex more determined. As he left, he felt eyes watching him from across the street. A tall figure in a dark coat melted into the crowd when Alex turned to look. The days passed, and Alex's search grew more desperate. He asked friends, strangers, even police officers if they had seen Eva or heard anything. The answer was always the same: no one remembered her. Then more strange things began to happen. One morning, he found a single red rose lying on his doorstep. No note, no message, just the flower. Felt like a sign, but from whom? He didn't know. Later that night, his phone received a picture, a blurry photo of a woman with dark hair standing near a river, her face hidden by shadows. A message followed, asterisk, "Don't stop looking." Asterisk. Fear and hope battled inside Alex. He didn't know who was helping him or watching over him, but he was sure that Eva was in danger. Maybe she was hiding from someone powerful, someone who didn't want her found. His friends worried about him. They urged him to stop, to move on. but Alex refused. He could not forget the warmth of Eva's touch, the way her eyes seemed to hold secrets he was meant to discover. He spent nights awake, searching online for clues, reading everything he could about disappearances, secret groups, and hidden lives. He was beginning to understand that Eva's world was far more complicated than he had imagined. One evening, as rain poured down and thunder rumbled in the distance, Alex sat alone in his apartment. He held the silver star necklace and whispered, "I will find you, Eva. No matter what." Outside, the city lights flickered through the storm, but Alex's determination burned brighter than ever. The search had only just begun. Alex had never imagined that his simple search for Eva would pull him into something so dark and dangerous. After weeks of chasing shadows, he finally found a break. It started with a small, forgotten detail, a symbol he had seen on the back of a folded note he found tucked inside a library book. The symbol was strange, a circle with 3 lines crossing through it like an ancient code. Alex had never seen anything like it, but something about it nagged at him. He took a photo and began searching the internet, hoping to find a clue. Late into the night, he pored over forums, conspiracy sites, and old news articles. First, he found nothing. But then, a discussion thread mentioned the same symbol linked to a secret group known only as the Syndicate. The group was rumored to control powerful people, influence governments, and silence anyone who knew too much. They were invisible, like ghosts in the city's underworld. Alex's heart pounded. Could Eva be connected to them? Why? He dug deeper, uncovering stories about people who had disappeared mysteriously, witnesses who had turned up dead or vanished without a trace. Names blurred together, but one thing was clear. Anyone who crossed the Syndicate was in serious danger. He remembered the cryptic note Eva had left him. Trust no one. Suddenly, everything made sense. Eva wasn't just running away, she was hiding from something or someone dangerous. Alex's phone buzzed. A message appeared, but there was no number. It read, "Stop digging or you will disappear too." Asterisk. Fear twisted in his stomach, but Alex refused to back down. He knew Eva needed him, even if she couldn't ask for help. He called Mia, hoping she could help him stay safe. "I'm scared, Mia," he said quietly. "I think I've stumbled into something bigger than me." Mia was worried but firm. "You have to be careful, Alex. If this syndicate is real, they won't hesitate to hurt you." Alex agreed but felt the fire inside him grow. He couldn't let fear win. He started investigating Eva's past. Using what little information he had, a name, a few dates from the little conversation they had, he searched public records, social media, and old news reports. There was a trail, faint and broken, but it led to a small town 2 hours away. Eva Monroe, the name linked to a tragic accident years ago. A fire had destroyed a house and a man had died inside, Eva's husband, the records said. The police had ruled it an accident, but some articles hinted at suspicions of foul play. Rumors of secrets and cover-ups surfaced. The more Alex learned, the more he believed Eva's past was tangled with this tragedy, and maybe the syndicate was involved. One night, as Alex returned home, he noticed a black car parked outside his building. The windows were tinted, but he saw a figure inside, watching. His pulse quickened. He hurried inside and locked the door behind him. The next day, his computer showed signs it had been accessed remotely. Someone was tracking him. He realized he was no longer just searching. He was being hunted. Alex thought of Eva. If she had been brave enough to run from these people, he owed it to her to keep going. He began writing down everything he learned, creating a timeline and gathering documents. But he knew he needed help. He reached out to an old friend, Marcus, who worked as a private investigator. Marcus listened carefully, reading the notes and examining the photos Alex had collected. "This is serious," Marcus said, his voice low. "If this syndicate is real, you're in deep trouble. But if you want to find Eva and get to the truth, we have to be smart." Together, they planned their next steps. Marcus warned Alex to stay off the grid as much as possible, avoid using his phone or computer without protection, and be ready for anything. The next few days were tense. Alex moved cautiously, always looking over his shoulder. Strange things kept happening. His mail was rifled through, his car was keyed, and one night he found a small camera hidden in his apartment. Despite the fear, Alex's resolve did not waver. He was closer than ever to uncovering the truth. One evening, Marcus handed him a folder. Inside were photos of a building on the outskirts of the city, a place no one talked about. Surveillance had spotted Eva there recently. Alex's heart raced. He knew he had to go, even if it meant facing danger head-on. He prepared carefully, taking only what he needed. Marcus promised to watch his back. The night was cold and dark as Alex approached the building. It was old and abandoned, with broken windows and rusted metal gates. But inside, he felt life, footsteps echoing, whispers in the shadows. He moved quietly, following faint sounds, his breath visible in the chill air. Suddenly, voices. He crouched behind a pillar and peered around. Two men spoke in low tones, mentioning Eva's name. "She's more trouble than we expected," one said. "If she talks, the syndicate will crush us all." Alex's blood ran cold. He realized Eva was caught in a dangerous game far beyond what he had imagined. And now, by searching for her, he was part of it too. He retreated silently, knowing he had to warn Eva or find her before it was too late. His phone buzzed again. Another message, no sender. "Risk, you're closer than you think. Be careful. Trust no one. Risk." Alex clenched his fists. The hidden truth was out, and the danger was real. But his search for Eva was far from over. Alex's days grew darker and lonelier as the search for Eva consumed him completely. Friends and family had stopped answering his calls or meeting him for coffee. They whispered behind his back, saying he was losing touch with reality. Mia was one of the few who still tried to reach him, but even she was beginning to doubt. Alex could feel the walls closing in around him. Everywhere he went, Eva's face seemed to appear in the strangest places. Sometimes it was a shadow flickering in a glass window as he passed by. Other times, a quick glimpse of a woman's silhouette in a crowd made his heart race, only for the figure to vanish when he looked again. In reflective surfaces, the side of a bus, a car mirror, he caught her eyes staring back at him, full of mystery and sorrow. But every time he tried to approach, the vision slipped away like smoke. These brief appearances tormented Alex. They were like whispers from a ghost, reminding him of a connection that might never have truly existed. He clung to them desperately, trying to hold on to the hope that Eva was still out there, watching over him somehow. At night, when the city was silent, Alex lay awake replaying their meeting over and over in his mind. The warmth of her hand in his, the softness of her voice, the way she smiled just before she disappeared. But then doubt crept in. What if she had never been real? What if she was a dream, a figment of his lonely heart, created to fill the emptiness inside? His reflection in the mirror seemed to mock him. His eyes were sunken, dark circles underlined his pale face, and his hair was unkempt. He looked like a man haunted by his own thoughts. The line between reality and imagination blurred every day. One afternoon, he visited the little cafe where he and Eva had shared their first conversation. The Blue Lantern was quiet, and the smell of coffee and cinnamon filled the air. Alex scanned every face, searching for the familiar one. The barista looked at him kindly but confused. "Are you okay, Alex?" "You seem different," she said softly. "I'm just looking for someone," he replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "Her name is Eva." The barista shook her head gently. "I don't think anyone named Eva has been here for a long time." Alex's heart sank. Was it possible no one else had seen her? Was she a phantom haunting his memory? He left the cafe and wandered the streets, lost in thought. The city's noise felt distant and hollow. He passed a shop window and caught his reflection again, but behind him, in the glass, he saw a faint image of a woman standing still. He spun around, but no one was there. Fear and hope tangled inside him. He wanted to believe in the woman who had captured his heart, but the evidence around him suggested otherwise. Back at his apartment, the silence was suffocating. He found himself talking aloud, hoping someone, anyone, would answer. "Eva, if you're real, please come back," he whispered into the empty room. Sleep became impossible. Nightmares haunted his dreams, scenes of Eva disappearing into darkness, chased by unknown threats. He woke up drenched in sweat, heart pounding, unsure if he was awake or still dreaming. Mia visited him one evening, concern etched on her face. "Alex, you need to rest. This obsession is hurting you." "I can't stop," he said quietly. "She's out there. I feel it." Mia sighed. "But what if you're wrong? What if Eva was never real? What if she's just a memory?" Alex shook his head fiercely. "No. I know what I felt. She touched my life." Days passed with no new clues. The necklace was still on his bedside table, a silent reminder of the woman who vanished without a trace. One morning, as he walked through the park they had talked about, a sudden chill swept over him. Trees swayed and the wind whispered through the leaves. He stopped near an old oak tree where Eva had said she liked to sit. The spot was empty, but Alex swore he heard her voice calling his name softly. He closed his eyes, breathing deeply. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. When he opened them, the park was as it always was, quiet, ordinary, and empty. Alex's heart ached with longing and confusion. He didn't know if Eva was real or just a shadow of his desire. But one thing was certain. He could never forget her, no matter how much doubt tore at his mind. He continued to search, chasing the fading traces of a woman who might have been a ghost. His life was now a fragile line between hope and despair, and he walked it alone. Alex sat in his small, dimly lit apartment, the weight of exhaustion pressing heavily on his shoulders. The days and nights had blurred together, his search for Eva draining every ounce of his energy and hope. He had come so close to losing himself in the endless loop of doubt and despair. Just when he thought he was completely alone in this mystery, his phone vibrated, breaking the silence. The screen showed an unknown number. "Hesitant but desperate," Alex answered. "Alex, listen carefully," a calm, steady voice spoke on the other end. "I know who you're looking for, and I know the truth about Eva." Alex's heart skipped a beat. "Who is this? How do you know about Eva?" "My name is Claire," the voice said. "I was close to Eva before she disappeared. She's real, Alex. And she's in serious danger. The people after her don't want anyone involved, especially not you." Alex's mind raced. Through all the doubt, hearing confirmation from someone who had actually known Eva felt like a lifeline thrown into a stormy sea. Why did she vanish? Where is she now? Please tell me everything. There was a pause. Claire's voice lowered. Eva vanished to protect herself and those she cared about. The group hunting her, the syndicate, they are powerful, ruthless. Eva found out too much. She had no choice but to disappear. Alex's hands trembled. "But why me? Why did she kiss me if she was in danger?" "Because she wanted you to remember, to know the truth when the time was right," Claire explained. "She trusted you in a way no one else could. But that trust also puts you in danger now. The syndicate won't stop until everyone connected to her is silenced." Alex swallowed hard. "What should I do? How can I help her?" Claire's tone softened. "First, you must protect yourself. Assume you're being watched. Change your routines. Be careful who you trust. I will send you information, places Eva was last seen, people she trusted. Together, maybe we can find her before it's too late." A flicker of hope sparked in Alex's chest, battling the fear and exhaustion. "Thank you, Claire. I won't give up. Not now." Over the next few days, Claire sent him detailed notes, photos, and maps revealing Eva's secret world, safe houses, hidden contacts, and coded messages. The evidence was overwhelming, yet it made Alex feel closer to Eva than ever before. However, the danger was real and immediate. One evening, Alex noticed a black SUV parked across the street from his apartment. The engine idled quietly, but the vehicle's presence was unmistakable surveillance. His phone buzzed again. A message from Claire, *, they're watching you. Get out. Now. *. Adrenaline surged through Alex's veins as he grabbed a small bag with essentials, leaving behind his apartment and the life he knew. The streets of the city, once familiar and comforting, now felt like a maze of shadows and threats. He met Claire at a small cafe in an out-of-the-way neighborhood. Her sharp eyes scanned the surroundings before she handed him a worn envelope. "Inside are names and locations," she whispered. "Eva's safe places, people who can help. But be warned, not all of them are trustworthy. The syndicate has eyes everywhere." Alex nodded, determination burning in his gaze. "I'm ready. For Eva, I'll face whatever comes." Claire hesitated. "One more thing, Eva left a message for you, hidden in a place only you would think to look. It's a clue, something she trusted only you to find." Curiosity and hope mixed inside Alex. "Where?" She smiled faintly. "The old bookshop you took her to during the event where you met." The next morning, Alex rushed to the dusty little bookshop tucked between towering buildings. The owner, an elderly man with kind eyes, recognized him immediately. "Looking for something special?" the man asked. Alex explained, and the owner nodded knowingly. "Eva left something behind. I kept it safe." He handed Alex a small, worn book. Inside, carefully hidden between the pages, was a folded piece of paper. Alex unfolded it to reveal a coded message, written in Eva's delicate handwriting. His heart pounded as he decoded the message slowly. It spoke of a meeting place, a time, and a plea for patience and trust. Alex realized that Eva had never truly disappeared. She was waiting for him to find her, but only when the time was right. The syndicate was closing in, but he now held a key piece of the puzzle. As he left the bookshop, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. His journey was far from over, and the road ahead was dangerous. But he was no longer searching blindly. Eva was out there, and he was coming for her, no matter the cost. Alex moved through the crowded city streets with a careful step, his mind racing. Every corner held a shadow, every glance could hide a threat. The information Claire had given him pointed to a warehouse at the edge of town, a place where the syndicate was rumored to meet and plan. It was dangerous, but Alex had no choice. He had to confront the group if he ever wanted to find Eva and bring her to safety. His heart pounded as he reached the old, run-down building. The metal door was heavy and cold to the touch. Taking a deep breath, Alex pushed it open and stepped inside. Darkness swallowed him. The air smelled of rust and oil, and faint voices echoed from deeper within. He crept forward, trying to stay silent. Then, lights flicked on suddenly, revealing a circle of men and women dressed in black suits, their faces stern and unreadable. The center stood a tall man with cold eyes, the leader of the group. "So you've come," the leader said, voice low and dangerous. "You're the one who's been asking questions." Alex swallowed his fear. "I want to see Eva. I want to know the truth." The leader smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Eva is not who you think she is. She's a threat to us all." Suddenly, a door behind the leader opened, and a figure stepped out of the shadows. It was Eva. She looked tired, her eyes filled with relief and pain at once. Seeing Alex, she took a hesitant step forward. "Alex," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You shouldn't have come." Alex reached for her hand. "I told you, I won't leave you." Eva glanced around nervously. "There's no time. They want to silence me because I found out their secrets. They control things most people don't even see." The leader's smile faded. "Enough talk." He motioned to his guards, who moved to surround Alex and Eva. But Alex was ready. He had prepared for this moment, knowing the danger. He pushed Eva behind him and raised his hands, trying to stay calm. You can't keep her hidden forever. People deserve to know the truth. A tense silence filled the room. Then Eva took a step forward, her voice stronger now. I was never running from the past. I was running to protect the future. The syndicate controls politicians, businesses, even the police. They kill anyone who tries to expose them. The leader's face darkened. Lies. Eva shook her head. You're afraid. But I have evidence. Documents, recordings. It's enough to bring you down. Alex's eyes widened. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted to keep you safe, Eva said softly. But now that you're here, we have to fight. Suddenly, chaos erupted. The guards lunged forward. Alex and Eva fought side by side, pushing and dodging. In the confusion, Eva handed Alex a small flash drive. Get this out, she said urgently. It has everything. Alex nodded and made a break for the door, the sound of shouts and footsteps behind him. His heart hammered as he ran through the night streets, the flash drive burning in his pocket. He reached a safe house Claire had arranged and quickly connected the drive to his laptop. Files, videos, and recordings spilled across the screen, proof of corruption, lies, and crimes committed by the syndicate. Eva arrived moments later, breathing hard but safe. Alex pulled her into a tight embrace. We did it, he whispered. No, Eva replied. This is just the beginning. They will come after us, harder than before. Alex looked into her eyes, full of determination. Then we fight. Together. For the first time since their meeting, hope blossomed between them. The danger was real and looming, but their bond was stronger. They would face whatever came next side by side, refusing to be silenced. In the dark city night, two hearts burned with the fierce light of survival and love. The sun rose slowly over the quiet town where Alex and Eva had once lived, but now the streets were empty of their footsteps. They had vanished together, slipping away from the tangled webs of danger and secrets that had threatened to consume them. Their lives were no longer bound by the fears and shadows of the past. Instead, they had chosen a new beginning, one far away from the city's noise and the watchful eyes of the syndicate. The decision had not been easy. Alex and Eva spent their last night in the small safe house Claire had prepared. The walls were plain and the windows small, but it was the closest thing to peace they had known in months. As they packed their few belongings, Eva looked at Alex with a soft smile that carried the weight of everything they had endured. We're really doing this, she said quietly. Alex nodded, his fingers brushing her hair gently. Yes. A fresh start. And no more running. They left behind the city's towering buildings and the danger lurking in every shadow. Traveling by night and resting by day, they crossed borders and highways, always careful to avoid being tracked. Each mile took them further from their old lives and closer to freedom. They found a small village by the sea, where the air was salty and the pace of life slow and kind. The locals welcomed them without questions, and for the first time in a long time, Alex and Eva felt they could breathe freely. They rented a tiny cottage overlooking the ocean, where the sound of waves became a comforting melody after months of silence and fear. Days turned into weeks, and slowly their wounds began to heal. Eva took to painting, capturing the colors of the sea and sky on canvas, while Alex worked as a mechanic in a small garage, his hands fixing old engines and cars. Their love grew quietly, a steady flame that warmed their hearts without the chaos of the past. But even in this peaceful place, shadows sometimes crept into their thoughts. Eva often stared out at the horizon, her eyes distant. Do you think they'll find us? Alex asked one evening as they watched the sunset. Eva shook her head softly. I hope not. But some parts of the past never truly leave us. Alex took her hand firmly. Then we face whatever comes. Together. Their nights were filled with whispered dreams of the future, plans for a life built on trust and hope. Yet beneath the calm surface, both knew that the scars left by the syndicate and the vanished years could not be erased so easily. One morning, as Alex opened the small mailbox by the cottage, a plain envelope rested inside. His name was written in careful handwriting. He felt a familiar chill run down his spine as he tore it open. Inside was a single red rose pressed flat between two sheets of paper. No words. No message. Eva came to his side, her face unreadable. They exchanged a look that spoke of shared fears and memories. The rose was a symbol, a reminder of the love that had saved them and the dangers that still lingered. But instead of fear, Alex smiled faintly and pulled Eva close. "We survived," he said quietly. "And no matter what, we'll keep moving forward." She nodded, resting her head against his shoulder as the ocean breeze wrapped around them like a promise. Past had tried to destroy their love, but it had also made it stronger. They were survivors of a story that few believed, a love that vanished and returned against all odds. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the sea, Alex and Eva faced the future with courage and hope. They had lost much, but they still had each other. And sometimes that was enough. Every kiss, every whispered secret, every silent goodbye had led them here, to a new beginning where love could grow free from fear. Though the world would never forget the vanished woman and the man who loved her, their story was theirs alone, a quiet legend whispered by the waves and carried on the wind. And in that place between memory and hope, Alex and Eva finally found peace. If you enjoy my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps my channel grow and I will make more good videos for you.